three of our faces, and read out the following. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are you?
And it's me, Brian, coming live from a 2021 version of Skype, because it's the only way we can make his face appear on the YouTube stream.
Cool.
And we, this episode, are covering the anime that aired the week of the 3rd to the 9th of April 2022. With no exceptions. The exceptions will start next week. It's the new season. We've got too much to talk about, so let's get going. Roll your sleeves up.
Get the knives out and start cutting this baby.
It's Birdie Wing, Golf Girls Story, Episode 1, Rainbow Bullet, in which the question is asked, what if you directed a golf anime like it was a mecha show?
Or Golgo 13. There's no way you could make that shot.
There's a little bit of that in it, yeah. It is like very much like the seinen kind of manga intensity about very banal stuff. In this case, the life and death blood sport they call golf.
This was my pleasant surprise of the week, I would say. I was curious about it. It was the first thing of the week, so I was like, I'll just pop this on. And then, at which point the music kicks in that suddenly gives you the indicator of like, oh, this isn't just like a cute girls play golf anime. This is an action anime that's about golf.
Well, it's probably one at the multiple times like the looks down upon. Sure, he plays with 3 clubs, can't afford a full bag. What an amateur!
Yes.
I'm saying using that same fucking 7 driver to hit all of her shots, but that shouldn't be possible.
Is it the because their coaches are Amaru Ray and Shah from Gundam, aren't they? That's one of the other.
Yes, maybe that too.
It may be the dialogue of like her Eve, our lead character, remembering her coach telling, not just you don't just want to beat somebody, you want to destroy them so they never want to play golf again.
Yes. That's all she's in it for, man. She's in this for the money.
Yes.
She's fun hustling people on the golf course to help save the orphanage.
Yes. There's bits of it which are straight out of what I understand is pro golfer Saru. I've watched the first episode untranslated, and that has a gambling theme as well, which this has at least in its setup. It also has weirdos who you're playing golf against, which this establishes quickly when she's playing golf against a middle-aged man and a woman wearing a mask.
Yeah, because the initial game is her playing against you see a woman playing, and it's actually like the golfer has been injured, so it's like she's changed her style, but she's remaining like in the seated kind of board, but not like rising too high, and it's her in disguise as this golfer. Is like, there can't be much money in that. And I was like, oh, secret underground golfing. That's where most of the money comes in.
That's the fun bit of it as well, but it's very much like your state of fucking Go 13 or loot bombs. It has Mission Impossible and possibly the good one as you just tear off your dramatic flourish.
Yeah.
Or of course, there's Scooby-Doo style. Take out that mask, you crazy clown lady. Why, it's you, the person who would hire me to impersonate you. But why? I didn't love the money, that's why.
There's impossible shots involving a train, a bunker, and a rake.
Yep.
I'm so glad the rake got involved. Yeah, that was
she like Eve. She has that fun. The blue bullet swing is her signature move. This fun launches a ball at a high velocity. Like it can snap a tree branch, but she can like embed it in the trunk of the tree. I thought she was going to keep whacking balls in the same spot and just drive it through, like go with it for like bulletproof glass. They might do that. There's still a room for it. I think she's going to these. It's got like can't just go into the tree. It's got to go right through it. Got to be able to do that at any point, just in case.
And then the second half, she's like brought in by an old friend, and is it his granddaughter or daughter, the young girl who looks like she stepped out?
The granddaughter of this old. I don't know. He's some kind of golf man. Maybe
another old golf enthusiast who will bet with her, but like the gamble has been left vague. It's like, I'll give you 2,000 fake euros. If I win,
we have an agreement. Yeah. I was saying with my daughter, she's at the valedictorian of fucking St. Trinian's golf boarding school from girls, which is very much like the fun pigtail to rich Ojo-sama kind of archetype. But she didn't count upon that fun. She learned to golf on the streets. She knows what it's like to be deprived of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember, how do they end up betting? They eventually meet the other female lead, Ayoi, who has a different attitude, but she turns out she's better than Eve. There's like gambling involving the caddy's Gundam model.
Yes, that was our like our agreement.
That was on the line, I guess. Yeah, those were the stakes.
I'm glad I saved your virtue there. Save my virtue, save my fucking like a super rare gunpla kit. Man, I don't know where I'd be without that. Phew. I lost that. The other thing, I lost that years ago. Do this. Don't worry about that.
So they end up like having a driving competition, and Eve's shocked that this other girl can.
It's like there's a big
hit a
tree in
ball
the middle of
further.
the course. It's like, okay, you can either go left along the bunkers or right along the lake, and she just drives it straight through the branches of the fucking tree without any kind of. She's like, if I play against you, it's gonna set me off my game for the tournament coming up. So I fucking forfeit. And it's like, oh, you're quitting already, little girl.
She's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, this is like, she's only in it here, just for a pragmatic reason. But here is somebody there who's like kind of challenging her, on a level that she's never really faced up against before. She's like, maybe I'm in this for a chance. Think of like your Joe and Megalobox. He was just doing it underground for the team. But then he met somebody, cross paths. They're so clean cut and refined in their way of playing the sport. He thought maybe there's something besides just the cash, the prize money in this. Maybe there's something beyond, something more profound.
Yeah.
Yes. We do get Lily, the caddy, being completely fangirling that there's a real Japanese person here. She can buy all the gunpla she wants.
And yeah, as with her friend not knowing what the fuck that is, this Japanese person also doesn't have a fucking clue what that is, because it's a very niche hobby.
Yeah,
Big,
also, I suspect she's spent her entire life playing golf.
Probably.
And maybe Pac-Man, because she has Pac-Man themed golf balls.
Yeah, it's like even their golf ball is like named Pac.
If Bandai gets their product dropped and Namco gets their product dropped as well, no, it's an equal partnership.
This was a massive, pleasant surprise. I don't know how many people are going to discover it, because they might be overshadowed by a show which was its own pleasant surprise at its time. When we get to that later, Tiger and Bunny 2, the other big Bandai Namco Pictures release.
That one with even more advertising.
To the extent that they forgot to actually set aside, you can see it on the costumes, but this is like slide forward, so you get a good read of all of those logos.
Yeah,
more on that in just a little bit.
This was very enjoyable. It's one of those things where it's done so well that you don't need to enjoy golf to kind of watch it, that kind of thing, and it's taken from some other genre conventions, and it's like, I see how this kind of goes, but in a way that's entirely pleasant.
Oh, it's very much it's so far removed, and it's like, there's a lot of ways you can kind of do like a sports thing. We've seen a lot of sports where it's very earnest for, I'm going to be the best in the world. Particularly when it comes towards like a primarily female cast, you go again a couple of ways. It can be pure titillation depending on the sport. It can be like, oh, how do you play golf? What's a putter? And they're just like, just having a nice time playing golf and ready to do it. Or just do it like this, where it's about fucking real athletes, fucking real stakes, and taking that as straight-faced as possible, in spite of the absurd lengths it goes to, which is pretty much why I started watching anime in the first place.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was top-level anime bullshit. I was like, this is right up my street. And even when they show our lead naked, it's not to be tittillating. It's to then go through her clothes. No, got to go through her skin so you can see what her muscles are doing when she hits this golf club.
Yeah. That wasn't done in the titillating thing. It was like, this is a fucking, like, she's I mean, like they're literally describing her as a gun that shoots a bullet, which is a
Yes.
golf ball.
She's a
So
fucking
yeah,
refined golfing machine.
mm.
The ultimate machine of spot. Of
And I
drive.
think that one of the only times that you see like someone kind of judging her on appearance is the niece or granddaughter who's playing against her. It's like she doesn't even look like a golfer. She's got an okay stance, but like this is pure amateur. It's like, oh shit, she's got the fucking skills. So it's someone judging her appearance poorly, and obviously that kind of comes up with the having to save the poor kids who aren't being in an illegal bar. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but they have to pay off the cops and everything. So yeah,
man.
it's good
You
stuff.
don't know my world.
Yep. Then, oh dear, I'm going to have to grab the water plenty because I had to take so many painkillers yesterday and it's dried my mouth right out.
Ooh, the Hydra.
Yeah.
We got monster-sized thirst. Reach for the Hydra. Available on all good sports now. Send us money, please.
Your boy Kobe, episode 2. Kobe uses a stratagem, rather. Strategy.
Isn't that every episode title? Where to the end?
I think it's because of this one he uses a specific, like he doesn't even come up with a new stratagem. He just adapts it for the modern age, basically.
This felt like, oh, this is what this show's going to be. It was like the nice introduction of the characters last week, and now it's like, okay, here's what the show is. Here's a character out of time, but he's going to use his skills from his time period and our time period to solve problems. And specifically, he's going to use elements that you may be familiar with. If you're a reader with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, he'll pull his various strategies out of that and apply them to modern day thinking.
Like it literally kind of sets it up with him and the manager playing Go, and he's like, "Hey, what about that stratagem?" He's like, "The what?" He's like, "Oh, that's what they called it after like
the
years
Stone
later."
Sentinel maze. It was class. If you lay them all in, and then like all these fun big
Make
rock
them lose track
formations,
of where they were
and
at,
they got all
that kind of
foggy because you you fucking summoned like the powers of the weather to make it all foggy, and they got lost forever.
It's a bit of an exaggeration, but like, yeah, I can do shit like that. And then obviously enacts that thing later. I thought he was going to do something with he keeps mentioning the BPM, and I was just like, okay, I guess he's still learning music theory, so I guess he hasn't any strategies involving rhythm yet. But I figured that's what he was going to go with. But no, it's very much so a battlefield placement strategy for this gig.
He'll pick it up. We get the full opening here. Like he's going to be the manager. He's going to be like
the DJ, seemingly.
He's going to be the fun DJ, the fun hype man for this. It's going to be like every anything she needs, and she's like, fun. Please, like Eiko, give me a command to go forward, and saying, okay. Kongming, I command you to help me be a pop star. As you wish, my general. He goes up this long, florid speech about it.
Because she's going through like the things she wants. It's like, okay, I want to play at these huge arenas in Belgium and Japan, like the biggest arenas.
Yeah, they're like very, very, very kind of like just kind of mangled, real festivals in those places.
Yeah. Like very much pie in the sky thing. But then she kind of just looks at her what's it called? Pinstagram? That's very funny.
Yes.
Her Instagram thing is just like she only has like 200 or so followers. It's like, okay, let's start here. I feel like let's start increasing this number so I can actually get these big things. Yeah.
Right. So we'll go to a gig. It's a multi-ad gig. We'll kind of scope out the competition and see what's going on. We got Arena. She's a headline tonight. She's fucking, way up there. She's got like 100,000 followers on the socials. She's fucking badass. She's funny. She's got this kind of like, kind of badass, kind of fucking aggressive kind of vibe, very kind of deep voice. That's her whole charm, man. It gets the crowd fucking all riled up and sexy and shit.
But she's also the reason the BPM stuff's in there is because he's observing that she has her own strategies regarding the BPM.
Yes.
Because she's being made to play other people's songs at this gig, which she doesn't want to do. So she's messing around.
She's kind of going against her manager's will by starting at a lower BPM, which kind of like it takes the hype that was built up on the first 3 acts and like kind of brings it back down. But then she can increase the BPM to like keep the hype going.
There's a fun drop, and then there's a fucking the boom. Yes, you gotta set it off then.
And he's like, an interesting stratagem, but I'm learning about music now, and it's like I can defeat this person.
And the dancers come in, just one getting all that kind of like focus on her as well. It's like yes, we gotta get on this. So it's let's go meet her after, meet her backstage for fun. Say, I can't do that. Sure, we can. Let's walk backwards. Fun. Say
I just want to compliment her wonderful performance.
It's your boy Kongming. Pleased to
There's
meet you.
I like the manager just like, there's a cosplayer here to talk to you. I don't know. So that's going to be a constant thing. And they think that's like a gimmick. And it is a gimmick, but it's the gimmick of the show rather than of the character. Yeah.
And Eiko was like, "Hi, that was a great set you pulled. I'm something up a second myself, actually. Oh, yeah, where are you on? Oh, okay. 207 farms. Let me get back to you in a moment. Say, you free this Friday? I might have a little opportunity for you. Oh, you want me to play at this club? Yeah, Warp Club. It's like Ready Ladies Night or Ladies Ready Night. It's like, oh yeah, this is fucking like the all-female fucking like review of like the fun Shibuya scene. It's good to get on there, it'd be fun, great. But ha 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 ha. Call spots this from the off. She's just like gonna have then to get sent out like the fucking the running order for the thing. It's fun saying you're playing opposite each other. She fucking knew that, and it's going to tank your stage to drive everybody onto hers. Devious.
If a no-name nobody is playing against me, then everyone's going to be at my concert that are playing. It's like a multi-stage venue, basically, that you can kind of wander back and forth between.
Yes.
But they're like, okay, they're setting her up for a fall. But if I can trick them into doing it, I can make her concert more successful.
He's like a very primitive strategy, and then yes, he gets the manager. The manager sources the floor plan of this other venue, Club Warp.
you need the map. He's a tactician. Yeah.
And then he puts his plan into action, and the owner has to come along as well to observe it. And he's like, "What's he doing? All he's doing is inviting people in for free drinks. They'll just get drunk and then go back to the other."
I thought better
show.
of you, Kongming. Obviously, you can't quite adapt to this modern world just yet.
But then, as he sees the guys who got their free beers, like, yeah, let's go to the real concert. Wait, that's the toilets. Where's the exit again?
Well, I got pissed anyway, so maybe it was fun. I gotta go in, and that's what one thing Kongming is playing about. Was everybody's gonna go to the toilet, but I thought that was gonna be his game of fun saying, like, everyone's gotta go to the toilet. So if you just try and like lure them down here, give them like a free cheap beer again to piss a lot, then it might come down again. But it was more layers to that. Yes. That was like one tiny detail, one wheel in a much bigger machine.
He has arranged the geography of this room so that it becomes incredibly hard to find the way out of it again once you're inside.
Because it's like an octagonal room with like a ladies' and men's bathroom and one entrance/exit. And he keeps. Does he move the Christmas trees, or is he just moving
he's got three Christmas trees, and he's brought 3 men in identical suits who move around opposite the toilet doors to confuse you where the exit of the toilets are.
Yes. And as well, like, because
the smoke machine as well,
and because smoke machine as well obscures as well. But the thing as well, if everyone's got to go to the toilet, they come down there, but then they can't get out.
And the lights are flashing in the natural flow of the room, so that that will also like hypnotically lead you away from the exit doors. And so when the owner goes to the toilet and everybody comes out, the room's absolutely heaving and full of people who can't get out.
Well, as well, he set up like he was like some little kind of pop-up bars here and there. So like one saying, well, I may as well just stay and then when they go to the toilet, when just kind of listening in. But having a piss, like that's just pretty good, Am I gonna drink first here and get this, and then I'll go up to go to the other stage? But then that never happens because they get too into it. Because then her true talent can shine. This is when it got attention on her.
Yeah, and he does say it's just like the strategy doesn't really work to this space, like as opposed to a giant like valley, basically whatever I did in the original battle. But the thing that's actually trapping them here is her wonderful singing voice, because it's actually if they really wanted to leave, they could. But now they're listening to her for any length of time, which is all I fucking needed them to do. They're going to stick around because she's really good. Yes. And one can see the other one can see them slowly leaving every now and again. It's like, hey, there's another gig going on there. Do you want to check it out? And she's like, what the fuck?
What do you do? Well, when her manager is this kind of we never dare say it out loud. Maybe we stop spending as much time lifting weights and doing your fucking voice training. Posting fucking sexy pictures on Instagram, and maybe but I thought it was going to be like, because she hasn't been fucking on, because she's got like a very kind of deep voice, like, hey everyone, are you ready? I thought I was like, oh, she won't be able to like last, and maybe like her voice will give up partway through, because I don't know if Kobe could have gleaned that from information he had. I suppose if you've seen her once, you could have sussed that, but he had a better plan in mind. But didn't involve trying to directly sabotage someone else. It's just like, no, I'm just trying to cast more attention on my friend and ally here. Who I work
It's
for.
definitely meant to be contrasted, where like Kome is like trying to like just bring attention to her and letting her own talent shine, whereas your one is kind of very much so. It's like, I know what's good. If I work out, I'll be better at the dance part and everything like that. But she doesn't listen to the manager and work on her vocal exercises. You
Well,
gotta listen to your manager.
Because the managers are frightened of her and he's afraid
Yeah,
to
yeah.
speak up.
She's pretty buff.
She would kick his ass for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But we might think we'll be seeing her again. She's gonna be that like recurring rival who, like, you know, she keeps coming back up. She's just difficult to squash.
Especially because she's singing voiced by another singer, so it seems like she'd be recurring. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not on the character list on the website, and
Was
she's
she not?
I
Oh,
made
my
a check.
mistake.
Like her voice, it had a very it's not my Yamane. It's like let me get my Yamane. Can't hit that kind of like kind of range. You know of the other lady. I think she did the fucking.
It definitely sounded familiar.
I think she did like the opening. Was it Sniper City Oedo? No, it was some Kawajiri thing with the opening or the ending to it. I can't remember her fucking name. No, she's kind of like the Japanese Bonnie Tyler, essentially.
Okay,
That's how I remember her.
Yeah, the other two characters we haven't met yet that are listed there's a rapper and there's another singer who
I did notice as well because we got the end credits and everything. And he was in the concert. He's been in the show before. There's a guy with glasses with like a bowl cut that clearly has your one's name on his t-shirt. So I'm guessing he's one of her original 200 followers.
Yes. And yes, she doesn't know what to do once her Pinstagram starts blowing up with notifications, and he's like, "You turn your notifications off because now you're going to be famous. You don't have to worry about your notifications anymore."
You're free. You're finally free. As nice as it is, it's cool to see Kome being like a bit devious and a bit callous. He's just kind of sneering at what a fucking puerile strategy that is. And then it's a kind of sneering as well. Absolutely fucking outfoxed her there. Outmaneuvered her entirely. And see like the musical and like the actual kind of portions of it as well. We've seen kind of idol shows or idol adjacent things, so you get kind of used to kind of being, anything that's musical about an anime is going to be a lot like that, where it's kind of done in that manner. But it's kind of see like, like there's also room for like people enjoy going to these kind of gigs as well, and they deserve to have a cartoon about that too. And they do give a lot of attention to like things like the choreography, and it's like having fun stuff, because one. It goes in was really kind of kicking after, just nice, like kind of like rotating shot, and it's all like fully properly animated. And
it was nice that they kept the crowd in it, like you're kind of circling within the crowd. It kind of gave it more of a club vibe than a lot of the idol stuff would be getting. Yeah.
You used to always having the CG models like doing like the actual performance bit, but they kind of keep on going for it. It's just like here's like a short little sequence of it where they really kind of give it some welly, but it's very effective.
Yeah,
their strategy is working on us.
Also, we got the opening theme this week, which is absolute banger in a style of a Eurovision song.
It's very much like that. It's looking like I thought, not only is one Kome back, the fucking cheeky girls are back as well. I'm going to see him in so many fucking one pimp outfits, and he's fucking b-boys, keeps like flashing off different costumes he might be wearing. He's never going to change all those like traditional robes, is he? No.
No, because then you wouldn't get the effect when he goes into a strategy. When he gets his orders. I hope getting his orders is a recurring thing.
He's got a different floral poem for his nose. Like, anything on earth can be accomplished with the synchronicity of like heaven, earth, and man, or something else equally as purple prosy. And god damn it, the ending as well. That's again mentioned last week as a song I've listened to while not playing and I haven't heard news for fun saying, it's class. It's just a song about going to the club and getting trash, having a good time, fun, saying, it's great. Getting me, it's been in my head now fucking all week. And it's such when it does episode, it goes like, hey DJ, yeah. It's like, we ended the episode already. That was cool.
Then on to the next thing, and it is I'm Kodama Kawashiri, episode 10, Ogabab Day, in which she makes
we explain what she's been because you can't schedule shit.
she makes a terrible project plan. That's your 30
If I
seconds.
got 10 days, if I just do 10% every day, that'll be fine. It'll all work out. She's already behind in the first day.
Yeah, that's it. She needs to learn Gantt charts.
Yeah. Just by day 4, she's just in like huddled huddled on the floor. She's like, can't even like form proper sentences. She has regressed to the level of an infant.
I mean, you could knock her skills as to actually being a life hacker, but yeah, you gotta admit, like that's great timing for like being on a break and it's like, is the show over? And then it's like, oh no, yeah, here's my schedule. I was like, that's why you didn't have it up. It explains itself. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Her life hacks are more like, are you a completely reckless individual like I am? Who's always fucking like, fucking things up. Well, here's a little tip for you when you get really fucked up to try and bail your ass out, but try this one. You low on beer. If you got lots of salt, well, I can make that beer taste like the best beer in the world if you just give me 5 minutes of your time.
Then back to High Dive. It's The Demon Girl Next Door, season 2, episode 1. Yet another showdown. The magical girl has a brand new appearance. The first half is she's attempting to deliver a letter of challenge to the magical girl, and it really, well, first of all, the letter of challenge really resembles a love letter. The way it's
also
written.
because she tried to write it in school, and then the teacher was like, "Oh, what are you doing there?" It's like, "I'm writing a letter of challenge." It's like, "Oh, that's fantastic. Let me tone down the threatening language here, because I mean, like, I can't really have my students doing that." And it's like, "Hey, you can put it in a nice, polite thing or a compliment about her appearance."
Send you to hell, your friend.
Put it in a pink frilly envelope.
And your one reading it is like, I have no idea what she's trying to suggest with this letter, but obviously I'm going. Yeah.
Yes.
Messages confuse them.
And then they end up going on a date unintentionally, essentially.
Well, I mean, they're going to shops and they're getting sweets, and your one's like, "When are we gonna fight? When's this going down?"
And in the second half is like a reminder of the other regular characters, as all the other regular characters move into the same apartment block that our heroine and her family live in.
It has been zoned by the city for the use of magical girls and demons, so that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot the dad is trapped in a box, and he's referred to Daddy Box. And that they use him as a table to eat their dinner off.
Yeah. Because they are cursed with poorness, basically.
Yeah, and I also forgot, like, that's essentially the only male character in the show is a cardboard box.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect like that.
But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. It's exactly how you left it all those many years ago. It's a lot of sweet, jolly fun. And yeah.
I had forgotten that I watched the first season of this. So when I went to find it, I was like, wait, there's a whole season 1 out. Did they put it all up at once? Like, fuck it, what episode am I supposed to? I was like, oh, this. I like this show. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
I missed 1 or 2 episodes, but that was one of the ones where I was like, oh, I'll just hop on the next episode. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, easy enough to. Yeah.
And this pretty much establishes all the characters again in the first episode of like what their roles are, what their relationships are with each other.
How bad she is at being evil, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back, Frank.
Then we've got Ninjala, episode 13. Have you got the title for this one, Dwayne?
Captured Ninja.
Captured Ninja, yep.
Yeah, they're playing cops and robbers, but using ninja skills. I don't know whether it's a gag where they're asking who wants to be a cop, and everybody puts their hands up apart from the guy who is a black adult man.
He is also an assassin, to be fair.
That's true, but I didn't think that might have been. He is a
criminal.
He kills people who deserve it, not just
I
anybody
was thinking. Yes, I was thinking it was like, yeah, he might be the one character who doesn't have a good relationship, a good idea of
That's true.
cops
Yeah.
compared to everybody else.
Mm,
And then they try and do this, but other weird creatures show up. This time, the green things with 3 eyes wearing baseball caps, who we briefly
And they
saw
do
at the end of the
establish with
last
the
episode.
ninja school council or whatever the hell. We're just like,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
should we cancel all field trips until we sort out this monster problem? And the guy's like, no, I'll be fine. It'll be grand.
Just put ninja cops in the school.
Oh,
It'll
yeah,
all be
that'll
fine.
solve
Nothing will go wrong. And if something does happen out in the field, we can just send out the ninja cops to save the children.
So they have to do that, but the kids are having none of it. They're going to fight these creatures themselves because 2 of their friends are trapped in the cage, and they seem to be wanting to attack the 2 who are in the cage more than anybody else. But then they also want to attack Bruce, the teacher, when he tries to come and help.
Well, they're after their gum, so maybe those 2
Yes.
still have gum on them.
But these ones
That's
start
true.
like playing past the gum between them. They keep spitting into each other's mouths. It's gross.
You're into that, huh? Well, they're like alien life forms, or maybe at least from the center of the earth anyway, to come out of the ground. You know, who are we to know their strange kinks?
Yeah, so they get them out of the cage. It's Ron and Bereka who the ones who've got caught.
Because and she's really annoyed that they were even coming. Your man the kid was even coming to rescue them because she was kind of like, "Do we need to fucking like just lay it on the line here? Because let's stop pretending. We're both adults who've been turned into children by chewing gum. So and you tried to murder us. So what's the deal with that?" But interrupted. Yeah.
Jane tries to capture one in the cage, but then Lucy kills it. They basically end up killing all but one of them.
Yes.
And then the actual ninjas show up and capture that one because these children are too violent.
I think like Lucy is our favorite JoJo character is Dio, because she's just like setting like decapitating things with a street sign. I think some sharp edits on that.
Yeah, because when the other girl tries to, when she's it's Emma and which one of the boys is the cop? But Emma confronts Lucy and Lucy,
Cappy.
Yeah, or rather Lucy confronts Emma. And Emma's like, why have you shown where you are? You're supposed to be a criminal. He says, no, I'm hunting you, and starts chasing after Emma with her gum stop sign. But that might be it for Ninjala for me. I might not have time to fit in another episode. If we're whittling this down to 6.
Yeah, they seem like not a plot's turning up because you may know you want to keep the kids out in the field because use them as bait, because then we get use our ninjutsu to freeze one of these things and make a sample of this thing to take back to the lab.
Yeah. Obviously, there's something to do with Gumchi as well, because he seems to get excited whenever these things show up.
He goes into a little dance every time they show up, and the other twin old ninja grandmaster is kind of like, I'm watching you, very suspicious ninja chairman. But it's just like, the plot's showing up, but it's like, there's so many good things this season. It's it's unfortunate.
One of which might be Tiger and Bunny Season 2, Episode 1, A Word to the Wise is Enough, in which we are reintroduced to all our favourite friends from the first series in an episode which is kind of
plus more
a mirror of the first episode in various ways.
Yeah, because they got both of them up on there, of course, and I thought did I click in on they just even though I'm here for the second series, but did they just jump me on the first one? Well, no, it isn't that because only the second one has got their fucking logo at the front of it. But it is, almost exactly. It's like an armored car robbery. It's speeding down the highway. The cops are in pursuit, which we got to send in all the heroes. And Fire Emblem turns up as well. And it's super sweet car for the first as well. It's going through all the whole thing. Where it's Hero TV, we're like cops. Well,
the thing that ends up kind of going a little different is obviously in this version of the opening from Episode 1, Season 1 is. They're doing team-up attacks, and the commentator's commenting on the new buddy system, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Everyone can find your buddy. I'm not sure we should be basing like our superhero policing policy upon things you do in primary school, but it worked for children. It worked for you.
It worked for Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, exactly. But it works. Tiger and Bunny was so popular as the world's first superhero duo that now everybody's a duo.
Who's the
basically.
sidekick?
Well,
Nobody's a
gonna
sidekick.
say-
Someone's a sidekick. The forum's ever light with
Yeah.
this.
Most of them
Yeah.
are duos. There's one group who appear to be 4 people in one buddy system.
That's a team. That's different. That's a different thing. That should be a different system.
I think it might just be to make up for Rock Bison and Origami Cyclone's general incompetence. That they have to be put in a team with the other 2 as well. But yes, we get introduced to 3 new characters. Magic Cat, I think her name is.
Magic Cat Carnivorian. I'm not Carnivoran. I'm not sure where it comes from. Anyways,
Mr. Black and I Am Robert or something like
he
that.
is Thomas.
It's Thomas.
Listen, I get Barnaby Jones Jr. He's just going by his name for the superhero thing, but I feel like you've gone a step too far there. Yeah.
The fun. I don't know what's happening because I guess it's intentionally garbled like that because it's very amusing. It's going to be like the partner for Dragon Kid. She's going to be a cute like cat magical girl, and her superpower is what?
Water?
Yeah, someone's water.
So water and lightning. That's a good combination, I guess. Yeah.
We're just like, what element are we missing? Like we got fire, we got wind, I've got fun ice. You got all your favorites, lightning, water. We got to get in there as well. So, hence Dragon Kids. You can just wet, shock.
Oh, your man as well.
Golden Ryan,
the gold guy.
Yeah,
he was in the film.
He's from the film.
Ah, right.
Yeah, Golden Ryan. I can't remember. He's like a foreign hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just get the whole gravity thing, and he's like too cool for school. Which is why he's in pup with Blue Rose, because she won't put up in any of his shit, or will just like fun. Fuck him, I don't care.
Yeah, so he is Thomas, has got telekinesis, and Mr. Black has got barriers.
Shields.
I got I don't know whether they are, but it felt with the woman who looks after them, it felt like she was their mum.
Yeah.
It did. I think it's because they're younger again, and also she's just kind of giving out to them and telling them what to do and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
They're just sitting in the back of the sensible family car. She drives them to the crime scene.
Yeah.
Man,
if you guys don't stop arguing, there's going to be no McDonald's. Because we're not sponsored by McDonald's. So,
Okay, well, it wasn't just me. There was big mum energy going on from her, whoever she is. Yeah, so they take care of all this business, but Wild Tiger never shows up because he's had to save a red balloon that a child has let go of.
Spider-Man 2 fucking PlayStation missions, man. They fucking... Yeah. I always save the balloon. You gotta save the balloon.
Yeah. He's getting 9 years now because he's only down to like a minute of activation for his power.
For the 100 power, yeah.
And we're currently in October 1980. At the very start of the episode, we see Christmas 1980, where 2 evil albinos, which is probably the only rough spot of the episode, going to that stereotype. I mean, at least by the end of the episode, we learned they are very goofy villains.
They reminded me a lot of in Nier Automata. There were 2 like androids who go crazy. They just like have like just born unconsciousness, and they're just 2 weird dudes, mostly going around topless, learning about stuff, and they had the same kind of childish energy as these 2 lads.
Well, they were touching hands, so I figured they were like the Wonder Twins.
Yeah, that's a little bit of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so they seem at the start of the episode. I assume from the end of the series, they're going to be causing trouble for our heroes.
Yeah,
but 2 months
in
previously,
North Carolina in the 1980s.
Yeah.
2
months previously, yes. So everyone's at a black tie event. Yeah. To promote...
You have to wear your superhero hat, but you
so they
wear
know
a
who
suit
you are
and everything. Yeah.
And these 2, Mr. Black and he is Thomas. As is pointed out, they're like 2 Barnabys from the start of the previous season. And
they're all like, the characters are literally going like, "Wow, that's just like fucking Barnaby being a fucking prick at the start of last season. Remember that?" And then when they meet him, it's like, "Watch out, old man." And he's like, "Fucking, excuse me, what?"
It's like fucking still in his like mid-20s or whatever. But they're like the upstart teenager ones,
Yes.
you know, as well. They're kind of jostling for a spiteful and saying, "Oh, they told us to go, like, you know, to say to people at the gasoline truck fire. But if we go and, like, you know, help apprehend the villain, we're gonna get some points. So we gotta go and push, get seen, man. Come on."
And we should totally go for that because they're just sending Tiger and Bunny there because Tiger and Bunny happen to be in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
'Cause they're golfing coincidentally this week.
Like Mr. Black is like he's all about this, but like, you know, wife's one and saying he's like whatever. But you can see like little twitches, you know, he's getting pissed off that fucking damn Barbie Brooks and Wild Tiger are fucking my day up again.
The other thing is like they're arguing with each other. Tiger and Bunny are arguing with each other. Would you fucking believe it? I know. It's basically because he's a fuck up and he keeps screwing up, and it's like, I'm not talking to you anymore, which he hilariously is writing down on a notepad in his very fine cursive. It's like, I'm not talking to you, kind of thing. But yeah, so without communicating, they have to solve the crime of a guy who has he can stop anything.
Yeah,
stop an emotion.
Yes, he can remove
He
the
negates
kinetic energy.
momentum or something. Yeah.
He stopped the beating of a man's heart last night. That's how dangerous he is.
But yeah, it's not so much can they solve it without talking to each other. Is that it's more these guys don't have to talk to each other. They've got such great chemistry now that they know what the other's thinking, even without
even needing to explain the plan. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're on the job, you know. We're just like a little tiff about fucking eating someone else's lunch, like, you know. That's nothing.
That's the thing he's actually mad about. It's not that he didn't show up to the crime and they didn't solve any points at the start.
He ate his yogurt
because you ate my pudding.
Yeah.
That wasn't pudding. It was energy drink.
That was it. Yes.
Yeah. And both of them have really mellowed out. Like, he's only doing it because fucking one daughter was like saying, "Check it out, I'm doing yoga. That's it. I'm doing it right here. Like, I'm mellow. I'm centered." And at least
did feel like his fuck up where he quickly changes out of his clothes to look like he was in the middle of doing yoga in the phone call. I was like,
I was going to do this. Got home late. Don't yell at me. And Barnaby's got a hobby now. He's keeping plants. They're also his roommates because he talks to them and tells them how his day went. But that's healthy, you know. It's better than obsessing over the murder of your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Only Batman could keep a few plants. He'd be over that in a couple of months. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so Wild Tiger takes his helmet off and he's like, well, I bet I can throw this with my 100 power faster than you can stop it, mate. Are you going to stop this? It's coming straight at your head. And then he hurls it and he goes straight over his head. And everyone's like, what?
And while your man turns around and go like, the fuck? That gives
boom,
Barnaby
kick, rebound.
Yeah. And the two kids are like, how did you manage to do that?
Did you intend to do that? It's like, yeah, obviously I didn't throw it wrong on accident or anything, because it feels like something Tiger would do.
But then they know about that. They just do a double bluff and flim flam them.
And then he's like, oh no, I talked to you.
I guess we're chums. Ha 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 ha.
We are two best friends.
And then cut to the sinister villains beating up some, I guess, maybe Italian or Grecian superheroes.
They're standing on columns, like posing, and then they're like, I feel like a fucking idiot. Do you feel like an idiot? Yeah, I also feel like an idiot doing this. This is pretty great.
I just do stupid laughs over the pile of corpses.
Yeah, because at some point in the episode they mentioned that like there's 90 or so heroes around the world now.
They've been busy.
Yeah,
it's a very popular reality TV show that is in multiple regions now.
But you got to franchise it out. You know, if you got RuPaul's Drag Race, now you got RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and now it's gone on to the Netherlands, and they're just watching the Swedish one now. I just heard about this today.
Okay.
That's I gotten there sooner.
I think they managed to put in like every regular character in this first episode. So you've got Agnes.
Give him a couple of bits.
Agnes, she's moved up. She's like, I guess, well, the last dude was like fomenting a decades-long conspiracy, so he was bound to lose this job. Golden parachute, though, you know, is one big payoff. But now Agnes, she's where she should be. She was always like the brains of this operation. You
got the low talker, the guy you can barely hear, lunatics there.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. Forgot about that dude.
The various representatives of each of the companies, and then so we get the Jungle. I think is the new company that those two kids are working for.
Yeah. Are they the only ones without real sponsors? Because that's very suspicious.
I can't remember if they got sponsors. Yeah, no, one of them's got real sponsors. Yeah, so I'm sure
No,
they both
but,
got
one of them is
SH Fig Arts.
Bandai.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and they gave Fire Emblem sponsors because now when a fucker sponsor, we can't have a gay character with our logo on it.
Yeah, ridiculous. The guy with the really cool car. It's like, come on, give him a sponsor.
Yeah.
But it's like whatever, no fun. It's like no fun that we need to have like corporately sponsored gays to make this like seem more legitimate or not. But still, hey, if we're going to exploit everybody equally, okay?
Yeah. I do wonder if he's called He is Thomas. He could also be called He's Not Alphys from Zetman, honestly. It's quite. I know it's the same guy designing the characters, but yeah, the pair of their body armors do feel like variants he had when he was just sketching out Alphys from Zetman. It's like, maybe it looked like this, maybe it looked like that.
Yeah. I sort of like I missed these kind of character designs. I guess like it has been that long since Tiger and Bunny, but also it had also been that long since we got anything in the Rage of Bahamut series. I'm not sure Virgin Soul did enough numbers for them they're gonna do anymore with it, but hey, this came back like a decade plus later, so anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but I like his designs. There's a nice feel to them that I sort of missed.
His the design for Magical Cat when she's in her civvies is like super like one of his romantic comedy manga type character designs.
Certainly.
More so.
It has the exact same hair.
Yes.
From eyes. Yes.
I did also appreciate that the truck that she was doing a concert spraying waters on the cars escaping. When that sort of went into a skid and crashed into it, the commentators like came up with it. It's like, ooh, let's call it the truck slide, or that a cool name. Let's call it that.
Intentional.
Yeah. Also, the cat has the truck has cat ears as well.
Yeah,
Very
of course.
And yeah, it looks really nice this first episode. I was a little worried because Double Decker obviously looked a little rough around the edges in places, but this definitely felt like it had love and however many years put into it. When was The Rising? 2015.
Odd.
Long enough ago, like that's another one as well. I Double Decker was a bit of a mixed bag because I still really like the feel of it and the fact that the setting that it had. And this is again, they do feel like they're two things set on the same version of Earth anyway. So that's another feeling that I was kind of wanting a little bit of again.
Even though I don't think they are, but unless there's like a massive twist, because we see an agonist in Doug and Kirill, but it's not. It's the same character, but doing something entirely different from Tiger and Bunny. And obviously, I don't think Tiger and Bunny is going to involve moon people.
Well, there is lunatic. He's sitting around. I forget now. Do they know that he's like a vigilante?
I don't think they know. No, I think that he's still to them in this form. He's just the judge. But yeah, he says he's not convinced by the buddy system, but he's gonna observe it and let everyone give it a go.
Trying not to burn anybody to death while in this month trial.
So yeah, we'll just have to see whether those two guys are connected to Ouroboros or not.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that was it. Because it was a real thing in the end after all.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't just like it was your man driving Barbie crazy with us, but he probably just something he read in Time magazine and thought that would be a good way to fuck with this guy's head.
Then more superheroes. Love After World Domination, episode 1. I Love You. In which, what are the superhero? What's the superhero team called? The Gelato.
The Frozen Sentai Gelato 5.
That's it. Yeah. But we open with the leader of the team, Red Gelato, and the leader of she's Reaper Princess. She's like in charge.
Forces of Gecko.
Yeah, of like the grunts, Desumi Magahara, having their third date while her minions and the rest of the Gelato team are having a fight
in the quarry just below where they're having
explosions, doing this, they're doing all the moves. And one on a third date, like we're meant to hold hands, like we regroup up and said, "Oh, that sounds very forward. I don't know if we could do that." Then one Blue Ranger comes up and saying, Red Ranger, are you okay? And then this guy grip up and go like, the auras of in full flow of and saying, wow, what an intense battle they're going through. Their
Well,
emotions
I'll
are
leave
so
you
high.
to it. Climbs back down. Yeah.
Hey, we're holding hands. Oh, we are. Whoa!
And it's really awkward how their date is, where where both of them are just like, is that really? That seems a bit soon. And he's like, no, I did a lot of research into it, and yeah, second or third date is when you tend to hold hands. And she's like, I guess so, But there's attraction there, but there's also exceptional awkwardness because neither of them know what the fuck they're doing.
Yes.
Being the way
great.
around.
Yeah.
You know, their society says their love cannot be. You have to fight against this fate.
But as we learn in the flashback, how they first met, and it was love at first sight for Fudo Aikawa, the leader of Freezing Sentai Gelato 5. And then
Because the professor that runs it is like,
Yes.
he's got great work ethic after coming in from a mission. He's doing weights already, like fantastic. It's just like he's going to be doing weights for a few hours, isn't he? And then he's like, Professor, I have to ask a question. It's probably a question about justice or something, right? It's like, how do you tell girls you like them?
My boy, you do have other hobbies. Thank goodness.
Oh, thank God! I'm glad you're a normal young man. And so he's like, I don't know if I should go for it because I'm like a hero and everything. And it's like,
You
and the professor's like,
fool!
no, go for it. Fucking no, never
Tell
hold
her
back
you
on
love
love,
her.
man. Love is
Don't
what makes
do what
us
I
human.
did. You will always regret it.
So he has the professor's permission. That's perfectly fine.
should say this professor does have a name. His name is Professor Big Gelato.
Yeah, you're right. How could I not go with that?
He's pretty great, along with. I guess we only really get the personalities in this episode of Professor Big Gelato, Tasumi, Fudo, and her Culverin Bear, one of her monsters.
Yeah.
Oh, and the guy what's the man who's hitting on the girls? Is he yellow gelato?
Oh yes,
He's the Blue Ranger.
He's blue. Sorry, yeah, I couldn't remember which color.
Yeah, that's the one misstep, is not having but everybody color coded in their civvies as well. That's
See, that was weird to me. I was just like, wait, the pink one's wearing like a green dress. Are you trying to throw me?
No, you know what the whole thing is. One Blue Ranger is like, the kind of cool, pretty boy. The Yellow Ranger, I guess, when we still kind of luxurious, get it all a bit more. And everyone's saying, "Oh, you caught me in a bad moment," just looking all fucking sultry. Pink Ranger is your typical high school girl, and then the Green Ranger is like the very serious martial arts dude.
yes.
Which Scar across his nose, you know who he is.
Yes, and it's hard watching it opposite Don Brothers, where they're kind of pulling all that nonsense apart with the sort of people who are in that Sentai team. As you have our red hero, I do not understand laughter and love, so therefore I don't understand happiness, so therefore I must go around making other people happy and observing it so that I can finally understand happiness. That's your hero in this show. Yeah, so we see them on the first dates, and then we go back to the third date, and they have to keep everything secret. Can't let the other
because
team
there'd be a
find
big
out.
scandal basically, and he'd
Yes.
lose his job as a hero in the newspapers. I did like all those headlines.
Yeah,
it's like they're called like.
And she might lose her job, even though it's like the relation to which she could be like, I don't know.
Corrupting a hero. One
of he's corrupting her, and she's not getting her mind on world domination. But saying, you'll be tortured, you'll be given 1,000 lashes for this or something like that. It'd probably be fine. I think everybody, besides the head villain, they're probably scared of her. She's like pretty serious because she is like the Grim Reaper princess. She's on the job. She's very serious. And so there's like an old. I suppose the height of the action in this was pretty all right. She's like throwing a ball and chain around pretty good. Worryingly, they've already gone through animation that they already used in the opening. They could be just a stock animation they use every time.
Well,
they're morphing up or whatever. But,
yeah, see, I was wondering if we had multiple storyboard artists because of the change in tone of some of the scenes, but instead it had 5 animation directors in the very first episode, which is probably not a great sign. Though it did mean you did have there's certain scenes where the action feels hornier than the romance stuff does. Like
the really zooming in on the butts and the
tight
rippling
spandex
muscles of the guys, on the action scenes.
It is doing that. It does a lot of crotch shots of Fudo. He's really kind of thrusting himself into the camera. I know he's just been sliding back from this intense blow, but it's just you're just focused dead center on his
Yes.
junk.
Everything is shiny in those, especially the Sentai heroes costumes. So yeah, shiny
And
crotch shots.
you just saw him pump an iron as well. See the back muscles working there. You know,
but yes,
Yeah,
it was
it's
refreshing
everybody.
considering that our heroine is only dressed in essentially lingerie and a skull mask. That yes, it is equally ogling our male lead as well.
But yeah, the romance things are just played for. Oh, that's really cute.
Yes.
Ah, those two are great together, as opposed to it being horny. It's only horny when they're fighting.
Yes.
Well, they know they've watched enough Sentai to know there's gotta be something here for Mom and Dad too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's fun. I think it's got a better handle in it than maybe the one from a little while back where they were like it was the villains making the monsters of the week for the evil thing, for the evil organization. This could be it could try and tighten up though. There's a lot of fucking like dead air in this. I noticed. It's probably going for that whole thing where it's like no, it's like awkward silence, but it's just like it goes a little bit too long. That's a fun thing. Is it funny? No, it's gone back to being kind of awkward again and not fun at all. So they kind of tighten up a little bit. I suppose there's kind of place sitting here, and maybe when you bring in more stuff like the rest of the Sentai team and the rest of the evil organization.
Yeah,
will be more people to fill the
silences
frame and
and
bounce off of.
Because I think that was the main mistake of that other thing is it just overloaded you on the first episode with like here's everything. In the first episode.
Whereas this it kind of just did our leads and a little bits on the other guys as relevant to this story of just introducing the concept, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see. If we can keep room for us, I wouldn't mind. But there's a few more to go yet.
Yeah.
This I didn't watch, but it's Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Ultra Romantic, Episode 1. Miko Iino wants to be soothed. Kaguya doesn't realize. Chika Fujiwara wants to battle. I watched like the first part of it. I was like, feels like the end of a gag from the from the previous season when the entire school blew up and everybody died in the very first 9 seconds of it.
Yeah, I will say that opening. I was just like, "Are you trying to throw me off your show?"
I didn't warn you.
Yes,
I didn't warn you, and you didn't heat it anyway. So
no, and I did heat it. I didn't finish watching. Whereas the other show, which I hopped in, I was like, okay, I can follow this, and a 10-minute history video on YouTube filled me in on any other bits of information I might have needed.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really do that with this.
When the episode proper started and it got into it, I was just like, oh, okay, no, this is pretty fun. I was enjoying it.
You might be able to pick it up afterwards. Like, like this, the end of the series of Series 2, which is in 2020. It's like, it's like the big finale. It was a bit like, we had like a few kind of a very special episode of Kaguya-sama where it's about semi kind of like real stuff involving Ishigami, who's a treasurer of Bunsen. Because he didn't have much of an arc when he was introduced, Bunsen. What's his whole deal? We get into that. He was just like kind of slacker dude. Didn't really care what people thought of him, but it was actually, you just have a heart. You put himself out there for somebody, try and keep and preserve their good name. But he got kind of slated as a result. Everyone thinks, that weirdo, that creep, like stay away from that lad. But he have put himself back out there. Besides joining the student council, he also joined the cheerleading team, which seems completely unlike him. He's kind of a shut-in gamer. He's out there like doing all the poses, but he's kind of put his life back on the right course again. We can actually talk to people again, like a human being. But yeah, it's just like big here we go again ending. Explode the whole school. It's hilarious, and then it's just like continue, yes, and then go on again, and just jumps right back in where we left off. Doesn't even kind of set up what this scenario is. The scenario is you got a student council of this fancy pants school, where the children of rich dignitaries and politicians and entrepreneurs and industrialists might go. To rich people, in other words. You got Miyuki Shirogane, who's like the student council president, got in there on his own merit. He comes from like a regular house, so got in on a scholarship. Then you got Kaguya Shinomiya. She's like a rich heiress to like a shadowy corporation. They love each other. They got a mutual crush on each other has not been admitted yet. But each of them are too proud to admit to come out and confess to each other straight out. So that they try and play mental fucking games, like one that's like scheming and plotting to try and trick the other person or pressure them by one another into confessing them, because the one who gets confessed to is the dominant one in the relationship, because you came on to me, so I have the goods.
That's not how it works, but these are stupid children. But I basically the thing of the show seems to be people trying to engineer their way in and or mostly out of really awkward social situations that you politely, it's like, can I say that to you? It's like, I can't really say that to you, so I need to come up with a way to do it without saying it to you. And it was just like, that seems like not much for a show, but then it completely does it in a very overblown way.
Yeah, it wouldn't have helped it too that their first sketch is involving like a character, Iino, who was introduced last season. She was in the student council election. She was this very kind of idealistic first year who was like got plans for the school, but very much kind of moralist. Very much, you know, students should be kind of be manners. They should be involved. A bit of a prude, in other words, a bit of one wet blanket. But it's like, but used to that didn't kind of this to show her, oh, she's a bit of a weirdo too. And it's with Ishigami as well, and they don't get along because she doesn't really like his style. She's very much from proper things. And
yeah,
like,
I think it does a pretty good job of establishing that she's like, oh, I don't have fucking time for your bullshit. I'm putting on my earphones until the rest of the student council gets here. But she hasn't put her plug all the way in, so it's coming out of her phone as well. And he's like, it's just soothing forest sounds. I don't have a problem with this.
Hey, it's more. I get it. Yeah,
that's fine. Track 2, construction work and camels. And he's like, the fuck? Why would you listen to that to relax? And she's totally chilling out to this. This is fucking weird. I mean, like, I guess she's a weirdo too, and that's fine. It's only me here. I'm not going to take the piss out of her for. I can't really say it at this stage because she'll be really embarrassed. And then it's like hot boys telling you, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, it's okay if you want to cry, baby." And she's just like,
"You got this. You go, girl. I believe in you."
Just motivational talk from Hot Boys Volume 3 or something. I think they price it as
like shit. Like, no, I got a phone. Let her know this guy's coming in now. Like, no, before someone comes in. I think it was fucking Fujiwara then, the wild card. She's the fucking pink haired. She's the secretary of the school, but she's at the one agent of chaos here. She's the one who's always like, kind of stumbling in and wanting to stir shit.
So he starts coughing like exceptionally ruins. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Pauses their music kind of thing. He's like, oh, sorry, I thought I heard someone when I came in. It's like, no, I was just like trying to clear my throat. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys about the cheerleading thing, and it's this whole thing. It's like, I don't want to fucking listen to you. She pops in the earphones again, and he's like, I'm trying to interrupt you so you don't fucking get embarrassed by this weird shit you're listening to on your headphones.
Yeah. Then phone Kaguya and phone Shirogane come in, and it's just like, fuck, everyone's coming in. Well, it's just a fucking. I can't let this fucking get out. I can't just fucking get it point. She just got here. I can't have a fucking be having this kind of idea about her now.
I'm gonna take the bullet.
I'm reaching from my phone. I got my headphones up. Not all the way. How to hit fucking magical girl, pretty cure sunshine, opening number 2. Go wherever it is.
And so he's like this edgy dude sitting really coolly in the side, and everyone's like, "Oof, been there." Yeah, that's really awkward. Ugh. Then one's like, "Geez, what a fucking weirdo!" And then she puts on her music without fixing her fucking headphone jack, like he was trying to indicate to her by embarrassing himself. So she's everyone,
like, yeah, baby, you go, girl. I believe in you.
Everyone embarrasses themselves, but nobody speaks of it. So I guess that's good. The slight win there.
Yeah. Let's get the other 2 sketches then, or more kind of your classic thing there, where it is Kaguya and Shirogane trying to impress / dominate over each other.
Yeah.
Big development last series was that Kaguya finally got a smartphone. As rich as she is, he thought, no, a flip phone is all I need. You know, I could afford the latest model. Like I could afford 1,000 of the latest model. But you know. That's just all I need. I don't need to do anything else. But then she came to love that phone because she had fun pictures there, like, you know, of stuff in her life, and then became filled with people. Then they're smashing it also her data. But now she's got this phone. She's making memories. She's on like the student council like line group, so it's all good. But what she does not know is that the perils of WhatsApp. If you can't just look, you can't go in and look at it, because if you read it, it'll tag it as being read, and then everyone knows. But you can't just say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get your message."
Yeah, so her maid is like, "Do I tell her that it says if you've read it?" And she's been sitting staring at this guy's message for 2 fucking hours, like not responding to it. And he can see that she read it as soon as it fucking arrived, because he got the fucking indication that and he's like, "I better not say it to her." And then your man's like, "Wait a minute, this means I have power over the situation." Yes. Yeah,
goes
and so he rings her up and is like, "Hey, did you not know that that was read instantly? I can see that you saw it instantly. Is everything okay?" And then it's answered by the maid, and she kind of goes like, "Oh, all her messages are screened by the staff in the house first." And you want just like fucking make something up, just written on a piece of paper, basically.
Fix this.
Yeah. So she gets out of it, and your man feels really awkward because that means that the house staff has seen all his text at this stage. But my favorite joke of it was the guy from the first sketch, the awkward dude, who was just like, "Hey guys, Discord is cool too."
Oh, that was
But no one's on Discord.
I think that was like in one of the manga environments where the author Akasaka. It was I think it was like talking about language and saying, "Hey, line's pretty good. I used Discord myself," and everyone just goes, "Discord? What?" Like, so it's pretty good.
It's super uncool.
Last one then is arm wrestling contest. Chika wants to like have an arm wrestling contest because I don't know, she's a dynamite,
well, she's pointing out how
lady.
Weak the shut-in guy is, and it's just like, you're not a real man. And he's like, "Dude, that's really fucking sexist." And it's like, "All right, I'll arm wrestle you. All right, to make it fair, we'll do a tourney." So they do a tournament, but so they want to beat each other, but obviously they end up seated on the opposite end of the tournament, and the president and your one also end up on the opposite side, but they're like, "I have to win this so I can get to touch hands with the person that I like." So
again, it's like that's the theme of this week. I wanted to reach out and touch someone.
Yeah.
As it goes like that.
Initially, man's like, "Oh, I'll wrestle you left-handed because you're left-handed," because it's like, you're a girl, so I guess I'm giving you like that kind of thing. But it's like, no, she's an archery club. She pulls the same poundage as the men. It's like, no, her left hand is very strong.
This guy was the opening cut of the opening from the series 2, where it's like she's kind of firing an arrow. It's like, almost going to reach his heart. We just kind of do like, the opening strings. This goes dun, 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 dun. Yeah, she's got a fucking strong arm on her. She's just fucking pancakes him straight away. Fujiwara's gonna cheat. It's like fun saying, "Let's grip up right here." But she's kind of there's a little flim flam.
Just a grip slightly, so she'll have an advantage. Yeah.
Well, you're fun talk a good game about fucking strong you are at arm wrestling. You gotta cheat the window. Pathetic. And then finally, it's the president and vice president. They're gonna grip up. It's gonna be fucking best of the best right here. And everybody's going like, whoa, the intensity. They're really going for it. But in their own mind, they're like going, I can't.
Putting in
the
minimum amount of effort just to hold against each other because they want this to continue as long as possible. And everyone's just like, come on, get him, and they're just all in their own world. It's like, oh, this is great. And one's like, wow, this feels really good. We've been arm wrestling for hours, and I've been touching his hand for hours. This is fantastic. I'm getting kind of sweaty. I'm getting sweaty. Crushing. Because he can't know that I sweat as a girl.
Way to go, Shinomiya. You are the muscle queen. Muscle queen. No, I'm not muscle queen. Muscle queen. No, my delicate reputation. If I'm saying, yes, I'm a muscle queen. That's up on the top of muscly dudes.
I'm trying to remember if muscle queen is specifically what they call somebody with a similar plot in that 80s superhero show that someone's fansubing at the moment. Because there's like an ongoing plot for like 3 episodes where one of the girls in his class, who I think is like the love interest, doesn't want anyone to find out that in middle school she was a professional wrestler.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Because her dad's a professional wrestler. I can't remember if it ends up with, when it is finally revealed, everyone's fully on board. I can't remember if they chant that as that there or not.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah. Anyways, that's one way to tell you about Kaguya-sama by explaining all the jokes in it.
Yes.
But I was kind of learning how the premise works. So
okay, well, if I want to watch any more about it, I'll just like get around to kind of thing of it. But I guess this is kind of getting classic kind of mechanics of it. What puts it over though, and continuing this one reform is just the direction of it, because they're running kind of rampant now with different kind of styles to kind of bring this. Even just kind of very quick little gags right here. Like Chika, she has like the nose for kind of romantic kind of things like that. So when she kind of gets this kind of little hint that there might be something going on between Iino and Ishigami in the first sketch, she's just like very brief. haha, like like Sherlock Holmes hat the pipe. It's like for a couple of frames, it's like in view in front of it, but they don't quite fully like appear like
They're not fully
materialize.
manifested because it's just an inkling of an idea. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just it does a great job. Obviously, the performances are great, but the way it's kind of extremely represented, like when there's suddenly a camel on loudspeaker on your one's phone, and then there's like a camel wandering around in the background, like a full-grown camel kind of thing, like a realistically drawn camel.
Yep.
Big pile of muscle bodies as
Big
well.
kind of
I was
muscle
very
bodies.
fond
It's
of.
got this
Yeah.
like VHS kind of filter put over it.
Oh yeah, it gets progressively like more old as a videotape as it goes on, and she becomes more muscle queen, which could be like a reference to an old thing, like you said. Ryan.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a well, that's also like a running gag.
Okay.
Like Shirogane, the president, he's like worst nightmare. Fun saying, "No, fun. Oh, if I do this, I'm going back in front of Kaguya. Oh, I love." And she's fun saying, "Oh, what's this? You're into fucking like fucking wearing tight little shorts." And it's kind of very dismissive. Fun. Oh, how cute. Kawaii koto. They're supposed to say, no, can't happen. So then when this whole arm wrestling thing goes down, fun the reverse of it, fun saying, "Oh, I see you're a muscle queen," fun saying, "Oh, I didn't know the side. I didn't know the side about you, Kaguya-sama. Oh, kawaii koto, fun, how cute." There's lots of fun shit in there. That's the thing which does, which she holds like the side of her face with her hand. That's like her seeing the camera down, which is getting too lovey-dovey with Shirogane. But much like Tiger and Bunny, it's kind of fun. Throwing fun. W White Cat back in there is fun. Just putting on that same pair of slippers again. It feels like this kind of then continues off in both like the momentum it had and just the kind of form it had, the kind of dedication it had. So I expected this like more of the same, but it's like really good same. So and they elevated it a bit much more as time. It's probably as well the comic is going on as well. Certainly in the second series of it, it was puncturing the kind of egos of our two romantic leads here. We're meant to be a kind of president, sort of fun school, top of the class, like top level schemers, criminal masterminds. But it's just like, apparently you're not very smart at all. You're very good at overthinking everything. That's your main like claim to fame there.
Yeah, I'm down for that as a theme and as a thing to run with. Yeah, I found this rather enjoyable from jumping in the deep end.
But yeah, if we can keep up with us, we got a lot on our plate, but we'll see how we get on with it. I'm on board for sure.
Then we got Spy Family, episode 1, Operation STRIX.
Like I was worried for the longest time this was going to be only okay or not great. I was wrong. I was very wrong.
It's
as
just
good as expected.
It's great. Yeah, so it's like, what if John le Carre wrote a sitcom? We're in the middle of a Cold War between a Eastern and a country split between
Westeros and Ostania.
Yes.
So Westville and Eastburg, Shelbyville and Springfield.
Yes.
I can't even remember which country we're in. I keep forgetting that.
We're in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're in Westopolis. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely not Germany.
Sure.
Plausibly not Germany.
But you gotta send in our best man, Twilight, Master of Disguise. He's gotta go deep cover in East Germany and gets the lowdown on this dude. He's like a politician. He may be having some kind of plot. He's involved in the plot to attack the West. Your job is to form a fake family, infiltrate the school, get close to his family, thereby get close to him, and then uncover his plot. You have 1 week to figure to all this in place.
You have 1 week to produce a wife and child. I did appreciate after him going through the cipher of the newspaper, just like doing a spit take and tearing his own newspaper in half. It's just like, what the fuck?
This could be my toughest case yet.
So he goes to the shittiest orphanage in town and to
because they'll ask less questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
and he's thinking to himself, I need a 6-year-old. And a kid kind of looks at him and is like, I'm 6.
I'm 6.
I could do with getting the fuck out of here.
He needs one who can read and write, and so the orphanage owner foists off this child, Anya, on him because he wants to be rid of her.
She's a little weirdo, and she proves that she can read and write by solving the crossword puzzle as he's solving it.
Yes.
Almost like she's reading his mind.
Yes, we already know, because she says he thinks, oh, she looks a little young, and then she goes, I'm 6. Also, there's like a little audio effect every time she's reading somebody's mind.
It's a little crackling next to
Yes.
her two buns. Like, oh, she's
Mm.
tapping into your psyche.
So I'm going to enjoy from the comic the amount of times some character is having an inner monologue and Anya is listening to the inner monologue.
It really makes you glad that this is like wound up on Crunchyroll, where they know how to put multiple subtitle tracks
Yes.
together in a legible way, rather
Yeah,
than
yeah.
other ones we could mention that no longer exist, or
Mm,
in
mm.
that way anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, she was subject to 007 in
Get it?
an experiment where she's like accidentally created during this experiment.
I think they were trying to make like super powered super soldier for the war effort or
Yes.
whatever the hell.
And
Yeah.
her favorite thing is a spy anime. And isn't this great? I've got a dad who's a spy. It's going to be so much fun. He won't let me use his spy equipment, but luckily I can read his mind and find out what the code is on the lock. And then she gets in there, finds his radio, and then calls his enemy from his previous mission, which was to prevent photos of a wig getting out?
No, that is
Oh,
this
procure
general
them.
guy. Oh, I guess I look like a very like military dude. He's going to like stage a coup in the pretense that the prime minister he wears a toupee. What kind of magleated country if he hasn't got his own hair? I'm going to
Yeah, well, the
expose
fact that
this
he's
and take
lying
over.
about it, whereas politicians have to be, as we know, politicians are the most upstanding and honest people that we have. So the fact that he's lying about his hair means that he'll lose his job. Yeah, okay, sure.
Go full on Mission Impossible mass fun. Saying you got the photos? Ah, yes, thanks. Here's your money. I'll see that this fun. Saying, hey, you got those photos? But you were just Twilight.
yes. Anyway,
Mission Impossible mask, off. He's in the wind.
Yeah, they receive a message from who they think is Twilight, unencoded, saying,
this is Twilight.
Come and get
Catch
me.
me if you can.
Yeah,
Come
catch
get
me if you
me.
can. Yes. Which turns out they can quite easily trace where that call came from, and they capture Anya, and so Twilight's like, well, I can just go and find myself another kid. I don't have to go and save her. And then he realizes.
And as he's thinking this, you see a guy about to like hit him with the blackjack in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And then that guy shows up later. Is like, yeah, I caught him, boss. Ooh, this guy's really tough. He kicked the shit out of me and Andy. The other
I had to put a
guy,
bag
whatever.
over his head because he was resistant too much. He was trying to bite me or whatever like that. Fun saying, haha, yes, well now I'm gonna get a good look at my arch enemy. Hey, it's you, the guy who just brought him in, but he's gone. Twilight.
Yes.
Done it again.
And in the meantime, he's trying to like, because he's realized why, like, because several occasions of him dicking around with his daughter and learning, he's like, you have to hold little children's hands, says a woman to him. It's just like, come on, dude.
How do I take care, child?
Yeah, he's kind of like, yeah, okay, the reason I don't actually like hearing children crying or dealing with kids is because I had a shitty fucking life in the war-torn thing when we were at the full war, not the Cold War. So I'm going to say, hey, kid, go down the road to the police station, take this note. This will make sure that you get to a decent fucking orphanage. And you'll never see me again. I'll find another kid. And obviously Anya's going like, I hear that and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and so they meet up again, and then he tells her a lie about what he was actually doing in that supermarket.
I thought the supermarket was open, but I guess it closed down. Now we have to move for unrelated reasons.
Yes.
That apartment was crap.
Well, yeah, I'll bust it up for now.
It's got to train her to be able to pass the entrance exam at this school, which is kind of, she's like, I don't need to do that. I can just read everyone's minds. And then she gets to the exam and realizes,
The other 6-year-olds are also shitting themselves.
Yeah.
So it's actually his, I think he secured all the answers for the test, to be fair. So she's just remembering what her new dad taught her and going through that. And she passes. And with that, Twilight's like, oh, thank God, I can fucking lie the fuck down now. And just basically collapses. He's so like stressed that he has to put all his luck into a child to fulfill the mission.
He hasn't felt that way in years. He hasn't. He falls asleep and has a nap on the couch. She snuggles up into him. And Vaughn's saying, "What? I let my guard down before a child. What is this? Have I become a dad?"
And then they get a letter inviting them to a meeting at the school, and they've got it. And it's for
attendance is mandatory for both the parents and the child.
And Anya's like,
but
Mummy doesn't
parents.
exist.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, very heteronormative of you, prestigious boarding school or
I mean, like
British
this
secret
is
school.
set in the during a Cold War
Yeah,
type
I
time. So
assume
I
late
guess so,
60s,
yeah.
early 70s is when it's supposed to.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
probably not great on the old gay rights for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyways, we got to set up the premise because we got fun. For episode 2, Operation Get a Wife.
Yeah, Frankie Franklin. That's his buddy.
Frankie, the contact.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Like this, you pack of cigarettes, a newspaper, state secrets, microfiche. I got them all here.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And a head shaped like a box.
There's loads of great moments in it, and besides it just looking fucking gorgeous, actually good, really great sourcing of like the kind of architecture from a probably not Germany, kind of expected looking
Central
place.
Eastern European, former
Yeah.
Soviet bloc country.
Yeah, it looks lovely, but also Anya is as precocious as I need her to be, and that's perfect. She was cute as a button, so that's fantastic.
Getting like a child like that just right is
not the
that'd be
easiest.
the biggest thing to do. The comic already gets it right so many ways. But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they put it in the voice for that, no, they've got this. I think anime has been good at
Mm.
this multiple times, but that was the main worry, I suppose.
It would be an easy thing to fuck up, like you said. Yeah.
We are watching other shows with the voice actress playing Anya. She's also the voice of Dai in Dragon Quest. And she
What range? It's amazing. I can play a 10-year-old or a maybe 6-year-old. Okay.
and the voice of Emporio in Stone Ocean. Got yeah, all the kid roles sewn up.
Oh, the fun plum roll sort of, but I mean, this was already a lock going in. Now
Yeah.
it's like double locked. Like comic is always so good. Now I think like because the comic is so beloved, they'd be afraid to do a bad job of it.
Yeah.
It is going to be curious as to whether it's going to be a Promised Neverland situation where it's just an anime for the people who are already fans of the comic and doesn't actually bring anybody new to the comic, or whether it will be a Jujutsu Kaisen situation or Demon Slayer situation
bring
where
people to read it. Yeah.
sends it
is
berserk.
it? Well, looking that nice will help a lot.
Yes.
I shudder to think of what punishments are being put upon the bodies who are actually making this stuff. I hope their lot improves like very much in the near future. We know their efforts are very much appreciated, and they're doing bang up work on this. I mean, for something like that, there's of course a fun high action, suspense, thriller, and then like it does it so well with a comedy. Like a big thing of the comic is like is Anya. She just does weird faces. Lots of weird faces, like a surfer caliber of weird faces. And those, again, very important to incorporate in and get right.
Yeah, I think there's people have argued that wit stuff is now better now they're not having to bother with Attack on Titan.
All the funds isn't going that
Which
direction.
is still going on.
Yeah.
Another fucking ticket. The final part is like fucking a Photoshop project up in here. Fun. The final part fucking B airing next year. Fun. How much of this shit is left? How much money do I gotta pay to
as
not
much
hear
as we
about
can
this
fucking
ever
draw
again?
out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because because they stopped doing it in 2019, and since then you've had Great Pretender, VV Flora Ice Song, which I've not watched, but everyone says is also very
right,
good. Yeah. Ranking of Kings, and now Spy Family. So
Yeah. It's a string of good-looking things.
Finland Saga was contemporaneous, or not long between anywhere after.
They do have the Onipan currently airing, but I think that might be a short. Is it?
Demon Bread.
Demon Underpants, I think, is more.
That was close.
Is more because the image appears to be 3 schoolgirls surrounded by tiger-skinned underpants exploding around them.
Okay.
They're not wearing them; they just seem to be separate in a pink explosion.
Lum, what have you done?
Well, we'll find out soon. I'm now more looking forward to Eurosatsu knowing who's playing Mendel, because
yes,
I really want to see the vocal hysterics he's going to get into when Mendel's trapped in a box. Because it's going to be pretty great.
Well, he was up fucking good in fucking Zombieland Saga. So
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So just do that again. Everyone, you're a character actor. This is your character, play it and everything. Good.
Then we've got Kingdom, Season 4, Episode 1, Seven Nations After the War. Another one leaping in.
This is a very deep end to be leaving in.
Yeah, I was already kind of packed out. I thought, I'm not sure I want to take on the weight of history of 3 prior series, and also the literal weight of history of this conflict to go into
Yeah.
it. So that's probably like more than I could take in for 1 week. So please tell me everything that's happened up till now in Kingdom.
Well, they recap the previous series in 90 seconds at the start of the episode, which is basically just to show various people getting their heads bludgeoned in and then surrendering.
Sweet.
So when I go back and watch that, I was like, "Oh, that guy's fucked." But I mean, like,
Yes.
if you know the history, you probably got it right as well. There,
But also,
or, you know, the
also
story,
you're
I should
watching
say.
it and you're going, why wasn't I watching this before? Look at that guy's hat.
There's some ridiculous looking motherfuckers here, and they all like ridiculous in the best possible way.
Yes, there's a bunch
yeah.
of tough-looking old guys, many of which I assume died in the previous season. But it is about...
There was an old guy in this episode who shows up basically to go like, I'm on my deathbed, and also I'm like maybe 20 foot tall because I'm
Yes,
sitting
he
down
is
and
a
I'm taller
giant.
than everyone in this room.
Yes, I don't know whether historically that fellow was a giant, but he is a giant here.
Yeah.
So and then we catch up with Shin, the pronunciation is in the Japanese version, who is our main character. And yeah, his side has just won. They're part of the Chin State's army, and apparently they've just run a massive battle and captured, I think, 2 castles they mentioned, because we see if one of them
We see 2 of
surrenders
them
and the
fall.
other one don't.
That does not work out for them.
It does not work out for them at all.
They all get cooked.
And among various main characters, we meet butcher the pronunciations.
We're jumping in on season 4.
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
Also,
make a bit
the
of a
other problem
Hames if you
is the Japanese pronunciation isn't the pronunciation of the Chinese name they put in the subtitles.
want. Yeah. If that was the problem that we had, or a similar problem that we had with Thunderbolt Fantasy, where it's
Yes.
just like, okay, what do I call this character?
Anyway, there's this lady.
Jim.
She used to be. She was very effective on the battlefield apparently, and she wants to become a general, and she also wants to have the children of Shin, and then the other girl who we don't really know yet seems to have like an owl headdress.
Yeah, kind of like the fuzzy
It's like,
kind of hunter looking thing. Yeah.
do you know where children come from? And she's like, oh yes, well, you and the man you like, you climb up to the top of this mountain, and a big explosion goes off, and you've got a child. And then she has to lead her away to explain exactly what happens.
Here's what you just
Yes.
proposed to that guy right there, who now considers you his rival.
Kinda
And
gets
she's just
very
like,
poetic,
oh
yeah.
shit, what have I done? Yeah.
Yes, but that was the other thing which caught me. I was like, oh, I didn't know there was Goku level idiocy going on.
It makes sense. They're all a bunch of muscle heads for the most
Good at
part, who
fighting,
are
bad
just
at
interested in fighting.
Social
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
Yes, which
Exactly,
I
yeah.
believe is historically what the Shin state was considered. Was like,
We can't all be your boy Kongming now here, can we?
and you do get the worry of that in this of the other, because you basically checks in with the various characters who survived the war in the previous series, and it's like, what are we going to do now? And what will happen with the Chin state? Surely they'll just carry on attacking us. They won, and they're like, oh no, you've got to think about the politics.
They check in with a guy who seems to be really smart, but like lost a battle, so he's stuck doing like building work basically.
Yes.
But apparently he's really good at the stratagem type stuff. Where they're like, oh, obviously, like now that we have peacetime, we're going to be good, right? It's like, no, in peacetime you need to build up your strength for the next fucking war, and this is training arc now. We can't fuck this up, or we'll fuck up the next war, basically. Yeah.
There's no like peace. There's only war and pre-war. That's my only 2 modes.
Exactly. They're in pre-war right now.
Yeah,
The
but
best part.
you don't worry too much about the Chin state because they're in the process.
They won, though. Surely they're
Yes.
going to invade. It's like, no. Now there's going to be infighting as to who can gain
Yes.
the most victories from the victory.
Yes, the balance
So
of
they're
power
grand.
has shifted in the palace in the Chin state because our other main character is the king of the state of Chin, and his rival is Liu Beiwei, who he was the guy I looked at the video of. But I looked at the video and was like, how do you pronounce Chin, and that's the closest my Lincolnshire palate is going to pronounce it. But and then I got an interesting video about Liu Beiwei. I don't know whether this is part of the plot here, but apparently there's a reasonable chance that Liu Beiwei is actually the father of the king, not the person who was the king previously. He essentially bought the state of. The video I saw was like how he bought the state of Chin, and a lot of it would also be because he was the video explained like he was a merchant, so he was at like the lowest level of Confucian society rankings.
Yeah.
And so then he basically he found like one of the 20 children of the current king of Qin and befriended him because he was being held hostage, and manipulated things so that he took over when his father died, and married him off to the woman he was seeing, who was already pregnant. So that's where the possibility is that the king here is actually his son.
Yeah.
Is actually his son.
Yeah.
And eventually became like prime minister, and then brought in loads of other academics and thinkers into the country, because all they were known for before was war. But also it felt like, as they were describing it, was because he'd got a grudge against the Confucian way of thinking, and so he was trying to create his own way of thinking by bringing all these great minds into his country and creating various ideas and legislations. But yeah, we're at the point now where his power is slipping because the king's had this great military victory, and what does this guy do? He sits and observes. They say he just observes from the sidelines because he's not a fighter. So the people are like happy that the king is getting more power in the palace. But yeah, the bulk of it is though the woman and Shin. We see them having like a duel, and they're discussing like, oh, we need 6 great generals to take over these other 6 states.
Because initially it's like he's saying is like, I'm going to be a great general, and she's like, no, I'm going to be a great general, and he's like, but that's my shonen thing. Also, I'm going to have your baby, and he's like, well, now I'm double confused. But also she cuts him during this duel, and he seems to close the wound by flexing his arm really hard, which I was just like, this is great. Yeah, no. If I wasn't on board for the political intrigue and the cool fighting and the weird badass looking dudes, that fucking sold me.
Yeah, and so they're like, oh well, we've got 2 generals so far, so we kind of need 4 more. We've got 2 great generals. We've got the guy with the cold eyes and the big black mask, and we've got your friend's dad, and then they go and see his mate's grandfather who's dying, and he's like, oh, there you are, boys, let me sit up and I will tell you about the 6 great generals I knew when I was growing up, and I brought my son to this country, and how I was trying to be like them.
His son is the one guy who couldn't make it to his deathbed because he's serving on some other front, basically.
Yes, yeah. I think he's the guy we see caving someone's skull in the very first few seconds of this episode.
I think he's also the guy we see toasting to his dad at the end of it. Yeah.
It was kind of sweet. It was like, between all the 4 characters of like the grandson, the grandfather, and the dad. It's like the dad would like to be there, but he can't be there because he knows his responsibilities as a general. But then he's still gonna think of his dad, as he knows he's dying in a bed somewhere far off. It looks like his dad had a hard life because say he's giant, but he's missing an arm. But yeah, he uses last of his energy to like tell the story of these 6 generals, and he's basically trying to put into the pair of them that you
guys
need to raise
can
each
be
other
great
up.
generals. Yeah, you can even be rivals at some stages, but as you're kind of competing with each other towards the same goal, you'll all get stronger as a result.
Yeah.
You kind of spur each other on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In his story of telling of the prior great generals, yeah.
I think that's pretty much the episode. Yeah, my main takeaway was, why the fuck was I watching this before? It's fucking excellent.
Yeah, it seems pretty great.
From what I understood wrong when it came out, I think it takes an age to get going. Once it gets moving, though, it's a runaway fucking like 18-meter truck. You're just not going to stop it.
I don't know how far back it goes in the story to get you whether it is all about the stuff I just explained with the Prime Minister and his manipulations to take control. He doesn't seem
Like,
bothered.
it definitely seems to start with your man Shin, because I've seen the original promo art, and he looks a lot skinnier and younger at the start of this
Yeah.
fucking
This
show.
is, it sounds like it's gone like one way more involved and like, oh, there's like, two young lads, one's the fighter and one's like the strategist type of dudes. They're gonna like follow their paths to glory, and now they have brought so many more people into the fold. This is like
Yeah. It's definitely gotten more
mushroomed
complicated.
crazily.
Yeah, I think the other kid's like an inventor in his historical story tells you. But obviously,
Okay.
it's all leading up to like the first time somebody unified China, which is the
To
current
a kingdom.
the current king is the guy who will unify China. Who we don't
Spoilers.
get. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it was like
It's been 1,000 years. If you haven't
I think we can
gotten
say
this
it
by
now,
now,
yeah,
it's your own fault.
more than 1,000 years, over 2,000 years, because this is like
Yeah.
it's 230 BCE or around that time, I think is.
Yeah, that's pretty close to I
Yeah.
think the dates it was given.
But yeah, I really did quite enjoy it, and I'm probably going to have to start. Do I just watch one episode of each season a week to catch up? That might be a way of doing it.
Eventually, it'll just be this weird thing, but it'll all just like sync up. Because they all hit similar crescendos in each other's series, but I'm saying,
Yes, you have to watch all 4 seasons at the same time.
It's how it said that one Flaming Lips album when it came on 4 Violence. You got to play them
Yes.
on 4 separate record players to get the full depth of the tracks and the songs.
As long as it's not the one where you had to play the various tapes in car stereos. That was one of their live performances, I think.
Oh dear.
But that's it for this week. I don't think there's anything else. So, the question
Fucking I
is,
hope not. Jesus.
what's cut down to? Certainly, Birdie Wing, your boy,
Yeah.
Yes.
Tiger and Bunny, Spy Family. Those 4 are definitely on the menu for me. And
Like that. Those are all locks. All great openers and reopeners. Yeah.
yeah,
I Kaguya-sama would be like, no, that was always going to be like company for me. I got it open just in time before it started. Not the fun I needed to. I would have picked it up, but I just need to know like what other new characters might.
You wanted to get a feel for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then do not forget, Dragon Quest is back on Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
It is,
5
back
then.
on the
So
16th.
I've only got room for one thing.
Oof,
Oh,
that's
what would it be? Well, the sensible thing would be to do Demon Girl Next Door, because that's a continuation of a thing I've already watched. But we'll see what I watch. Find out next week. What will be the day next week? Wednesday again?
Let's see. What the hell am I even doing this week?
I was going to say it's Easter week.
Because I asked to move it to this day to talk about new anime, because I wanted to talk about old anime on a different day, or supposed to see some anyway. Tuesday the 19th.
Tuesday the 19th. Let me move that on the old calendar.
Oh, wait, hang on. No, it is actually Wednesday the 20th. You were correct, yeah.
No change required. Excellent. We'll be back.
Stay your hand, Brian.
Calendar can remain safe. Righty-ho, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with more of the... Well, a little bit less of the same. Let's put it that way.
I hope. Yeah.
More of us.
Yay. Bye for now.
Bye. Ta-ta.